In this video, I will show you how to simplify a square root, a cube root, and also a fourth root, okay? Let's start with the first example. All right, we've got square root of 588. The first thing you're going to do is use the following chart that I prepared. It's going to be very convenient for you guys. If you click on the little plus sign here, this has number in one column, it's square in the next column, then the cube, the fourth, the fifth powers. Depending on which root you are trying to simplify, that's the column you're going to select. So if I'm trying to simplify the square root, I'm obviously going to be using this square chart. Now you need to write down the squares that are less than your number. Now I intentionally chose a very difficult example because this is a huge root. Okay, so I'm not gonna, list them all, but I'm gonna start with, okay, so 588. I'm gonna have this side by side with my calculator. Okay. And my number is 588, and I'm gonna start dividing it by the square that's less than my number. Now, unfortunately, pretty much all of them are. So let's start with 576. Does that divide evenly? Nope, it doesn't. Okay, move on. 529. No, it doesn't. 484. Nope. 441. No. 400. There's no way that that's gonna happen. Okay, 361. Nope. 324, also no. 289. Man, you guys chose this example just to torture me. 256, that one is a no. 225, there's no way that's going to be true. How about 196? Oops, okay. We got it, we got it. All right, so what we were able to do is we started with our 588 number, and we expressed this as a product of 196 and 3. Let's write that down. All we did is we broke the number 588 apart into 196 multiplied by 3. Next, we are going to split the root at the times. You can always do that. You can split the root at the multiplication. You've got square root of 196 multiplied by square root of 3. Now, what is square root of 196? Now, you can look in the chart corresponding to 196. That's 14, right? If you look at the chart, where are you flying? Right here. That corresponds to 14. Now, can you also just on the calculator compute square root of 196? Of course, that's going to be 14. And then we just say, okay, that's 14 square root of 3. And we are done with this example. Just part A though. Anyone? Anyone? The next one is cube root of 250. Again, we are looking at the chart, but this time we're looking under the cube column, okay? And let me have the calculator side by side here. Okay, let me clear everything. All right, so we are starting with 250, right? We're looking at the cubes that are less than 250. Okay, so let me type 250. The first cube that is less is 216, so let's divide. Does that divide evenly? No, it does not. Okay, how about 64? Actually, 125. Oh, okay, I got it. This was the second one I tried and I already got it. Okay, that means that I was able to write down 250 as 125 multiplied by 2. Now I'm going to split it into cube root of 125 multiplied by cube root of 2. But what is cube root of 125? Now you can do two things. Either on the calculator, you select the cube root, which is right here. Okay, this is actually nth root, so you're going to have to type 3 and 125, and that tells you that's 5. Or you can look in the chart, you can find your number 125, okay, which is here, and look what number did that correspond. Of course, it's not the square, it's this number, okay, so that's 5. Either way, whether you use the calculator or use the chart, we know this is going to be 5. And I was able to simplify the root of 5 cube root of 2. Okay, so let me type 5, then I need this right here with the cube and a 2. Okay, the last example we're going to consider is how to simplify fourth root of 162. The same idea, we're now looking in the fourth, right? fourth powers of our numbers. And we want to find the numbers that are less than our number. Well, when we look at the fourth column, the first number that's less than 162 is 81. Okay, what that means that we're going to start dividing. Okay, so let me put the calculator here. We're going to start with our number 162, and we are going to divide it by the first number that's less than that in the fourth power. That's 81 column. And when you divide it by 81, you already got the answer. That's 2. Okay, you were able to write down your 162 as 81 multiplied by 2. Now, you can split it apart into fourth root of 81 and fourth root of 2. Now, what is fourth root of 81? Again, you can just use the calculator right here. Fourth root of 81, that's 3. And then you got 3 fourth root of 2. Okay, so let's see if we can get to it and enter the final answer. So we've got 3, then fourth root of 2.